I did it. Guys, that toast in Emily's mouth has no butter on it. Oh, the big
reveal.
I chopped my hair off. I like it. Never knew my face was so long. Let's do this. Oh man, look how close we are to the end of the book. Ahem, ahem. I fought back against the pain. This was the price I had to pay to save his life. I would pay it. Oh, snap. Poor Bella. She doesn't know. How could she? Got a little mad.
Sometimes you gotta do that. New moon.
Prominently place my product. Oh, damn. That first drink of coffee in the morning. Alright, do we remember last week? What was that chapter? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just nervous that I won't remember what's going on, and so it'll just be another read of a chapter instead of a...
You know what? I think that's fine.
Episode of a chapter.
Nah. Hi everyone.
Hello and good morning. Maybe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Mm-hmm.
As Truman says.
Yes.
I am Marin.
I'm Emily.
And this is...
Remember Twilight.
This is the Sunday Soft Soothing Sounds edition.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll work out. There's nothing like too traumatic or scary or like time specific in this one, right?
Oh, sorry everybody. I didn't mean to throw up. I just got really nervous because of this chapter.
Actually, it's chapter 19, Race.
Oh man.
And so
I just literally got the pea shivers from this chapter. So,
last week.
Yeah, last week was chapter 18, The Funeral.
Mm-hmm. Which
sounds fine, right? No.
I mean, no. I think usually not fine.
Usually not.
Usually
Especially not this time, because who's at Bella's house but Jakey B, and who happens to call Bella?
But
Charlie.
Capital V, capital S.
Oh, this guy?
Uh-huh.
Our vampy sweetie?
Yeah, him.
He calls the house. He freaking calls the house, because what he's heard from Rosalie is, and we don't know this yet, but yeah, we do. Yeah, Alice
probably
explains
do.
it.
Uh-huh.
He's heard that Bella jumped off a cliff and died.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls the house to check, because he's not going to just believe Rosalie. No.
Mm-hmm. No.
And Jacob answers, and Edward goes.
It goes something like this. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Where's Charlie?
He's at the funeral.
Okay, bye.
Dang it, we didn't have any sock puppets to bring out.
We really do need to get our puppets, because they would come in so much handiness.
Oh, get it? So then Edward's like, well, bye, cold and cruel world. I no longer want to live in it. I'm going to go join Bella on the other side. Or go into nothingness forever. And it's really scary, because then Alice comes down the stairs and she's like, and Bella's like, what? And Alice goes, Edward. That's it. Now they're doing this.
Bella says, peace out, Jakey B. And Jakey B is like, please don't leave me. And she's like, bye.
Oh my gosh. Jacob just runs into the forest and leaves his one remaining shoe laying on the side of the road in pieces.
Oh no.
I know. Man. Oh no is right.
You want to know who I want to travel with?
Do you want to travel with Bella?
A vampire.
Oh, right, the vampire.
They are gonna get you to your terminal.
But imagine this, like the way that Bella describes this as being kidnapped, because like Bella is just like bouncing in her seat and looking around and being super nervous, and she's with this like totally calm and collected, beautiful statue of a girl who's like, obviously something's weird about her.
Yeah.
If I saw them on a plane, I would slip Bella a note that says, "Are you okay?" Because I'm nervous.
Circle yes or no. Yeah. Bella, she loves to be a jackhammer in any seat she can find. Such a severe bounce.
So bouncy.
That Alice puts her hand on her shoulder to hold her in place.
Oh my gosh.
And you know planes, they don't want to be anywhere quick.
No.
They are a hello, good morning, check the overhead bags, sometimes defrost.
Oh man,
And
all the stuff you have to sit on that road.
Yeah.
What's it called? A tarmac?
I was gonna just say the runway, but tarmac is before you.
I don't know.
leave.
You just sit there for so long in the plane, and that's why you got to bring 6 gossip magazines, 1 regular book, your phone,
1 pack of gum,
at least. That would get me up to takeoff.
And unfortunately, we had to book our tickets super late, so we couldn't buy the whole plane out.
Nope.
And so there's this dude that's like giving him a side eye the whole flight because Bella keeps out blurting things out like, is he dead yet?
Oh my
Bella.
gosh, imagine this guy.
Meanwhile, Alice is talking on the phone to everybody, telling them what they're doing. So the plan is to go and stop Edward, but what a plan this is. This is an Alice plan. So it goes a little bit more smoothly than the Bella plans, but still. She's on the phone first with Jasper, who or maybe only on the phone with Jasper.
I think Jasper's the only one she talks to, and
Yeah.
he is just relaying the information to the rest of the family.
Because Emmett hears what's happening, and he immediately packs his car.
He's gonna drive.
Like, we're gonna go.
He's gonna drive to Italy.
And so they're like, no, don't go get him. He cannot come here. Bella's the only one that Edward's gonna give a shit about.
Okay, so first, but when she's talking to Jasper, Bella just barely hears like these things, and she's like, I can't be sure. I keep seeing him do different things. He keeps changing his mind. And then there's 3 different plans that Edward has made. The first one is, 1, a killing spree through the city. And I'm like, nah, Edward won't do that. That's just too evil. Plan number 2, attacking the guard. Nah, number 2, too fast and dumb. Right? They would just get him.
Yeah.
Easy. 3, lifting a car over his head in the main square? No, that's too Superman.
Okay. If Emmett were Edward right now, he would just choreograph some great street performance dance. And hop into that fountain and dance around.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Attention.
You're right. Yep, so funny.
Alice says, don't let anybody come because Edward will just do something faster if he sees any of us.
He'll throw a Buick through a wall. Are there Buicks in Italy?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think a Buick
have.
is a strictly farm American car.
Oh.
As far as I know.
I just lost all train of thought.
Oh man.
Okay. So after Alice gets off the phone with Jasper, Bella wants a recap. Why did you tell Emmett not to come? And Alice is like, well, if we could get close enough to Edward before he heard our thoughts, we could probably stop him. But there's a very slim chance of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, he's so tuned in to their thoughts that he would hear them so far away.
And also, if things go bad, they're gonna kill all of us, not just Edward. And I don't want Jasper to die.
Oh.
And so I told him to stay away. And maybe our plan will fail because I did that, but I had to do that. And Bella's like, yeah, that makes 100% sense.
It does.
She gets it.
Yep, that's exactly what Bella would have done.
And then Bella's like, well, listen, Edward can hear your thoughts, right? Can't you just tell him, like, yo, Bella's alive?
Yeah.
And Alice is like, don't you think I would do that whether or not you were alive anyway?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. Why doesn't Bella consult Alice for all of her plans?
Because Bella is Bella. She's way too impulsive. She just is like, oh crap. Well, here's what I have to do to literally save myself. That's all she's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has lived an entire life of self-preservation. And so she's never going to consult anyone else or see what anybody else will do. It's all about saving herself every time.
She should talk to Alice more, though.
I want to. I wish I could.
Check this out.
Yeah, dude.
We skipped over too many things in Alice and Jasper's conversation because Alice says the words, that she promised that she would do something, and Bella asks her about it, and she says, well, I promised him that I would get out before they killed me too. And then Bella's like, who are these people?
But she demands it. Who are these Volturi? I demanded in a whisper. What makes them so much more dangerous than Emmett, Jasper, Rosalie, and you?
Then Alice has to check on passenger row back seat
I know.
to the left.
Who's
and be
like,
Bella, we have to talk very quietly about dangerous people. So Alice does a very far lean and a talk right into Bella's eardrum.
Yeah, I hate that.
She breathed the story.
Whatever.
I was surprised that you recognized the name.
That's so creepy. I don't like it.
Okay. Okay. So Alice says, I was surprised that you recognized the name, but you understood so immediately what it meant when I said I was going to Italy. I thought I would have to explain. How much did Edward tell you?
I love this. Think of Alice as so, like, surprised that Edward told her anything.
That's true.
She's like, wait a minute. Edward told you something important? Wow.
Yeah.
He must really like you.
He doesn't tell every girl about the Volturi. Or any girl.
Any girl about anything.
You're the first girl he's talked to.
Ever.
Bella says, well, he told me they were an old, powerful family and that you don't go bother them unless you want to die. And Alice says, okay, Bella. So most vampires are very different from our family. It's very weird that we all live together, because most vampires travel alone or in pairs. So having the 7 of us is crazy. However, there's one clan that's bigger than ours, and that is the Volturi.
Yeah, this is really interesting, and I kept thinking about how the Cullens have all, like, cultivated their powers. And I think that if they had stayed and been normal, like, regular vampires, they wouldn't have. And so that's one of the things that makes them so special, is that they have these powers, they use them for good, and because they don't hunt and kill humans, they have time to just be, like, super awesome and smart with their powers. The Volturi also has powers. They are evil, but they also have time because they just sit around and let all the other vampires do their work for them.
Interesting.
So they are the same, they're just opposite sides of the coin.
Yep. So we get the quick rundown of who makes up the Volturi. So we got at the top of the, I was going to say food pyramid, the family tree.
Yeah.
At the top of the food pyramid, we have Aro, Caius, and Marcus. And Bella's like, yeah, Carlisle has that cute pic of them in his office.
Oh my gosh, that beautiful one with all the dead people on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Seen it.
Yes. 2 females joined them over time. Not important to know about them.
Doesn't say their names, doesn't say anything about them. Just females.
2 females. As if Alice doesn't know their names.
Good grief.
And the 5 of them make up the family. So that's our core group. Alice says, I think it's their age that gives them ability to live peacefully together. Because these dudes are old.
They are well over 3,000 years old.
They are some oldies.
That is so boring.
Imagine the same 4 people forever.
No. That is not, like, that's boring, but also just, like, this world, and the way that in Twilight, how Edward says that all humans are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I firmly believe that. I mean, we're just animals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's nothing new. Over 3,000 years, it's different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It
just seems so monotonous.
If I was a vampire and I reached my first, like, 1,000 year milestone, I'd be like, all right, guys, this has been fun, but I'm taking it to the ocean floor. And I would just build a kingdom underwater where no one else is going to come bother me.
This has been fun. Peace.
See ya. She goes on to tell them that some of them have gifts, which maybe also helps them stay together. Both Aro and Marcus are talented. And then she skips over what those powers are and says, well, also maybe they just really love power and they're more powerful together. And Bella's like, well, if there's only 5 of them, no. 5 make up the family. That doesn't include their guard. Oh, vampires have a guard now.
Oh, man. These guys are so...
They're so extra.
Jeez. I was going to say the Kardashians, but that's definitely the Cullens. The Cullens are the Kardashians. These guys are like the royal family.
Uh-huh.
So gross.
Yep. They have 9 people that make up the guard, last we heard. And then they have some that come in and out depending on if they have gifts and what they need them for at the time.
Yep. There's the rub right there.
Uh-huh. And these people, their gifts make what I can do look like a parlor trick. I want to know about all those vampires.
I know.
Please.
Well, I mean, we do know about, like, Jane and the other kid. I don't remember his name right now. But,
Alec.
Yeah, Alec. And then,
Uh-huh.
you know, I mean, there's, like, all these... We know about them, but... good grief.
Yes, and so the Volturi specifically find people with powers and recruit them. So that's another reason why having Alice and Edward there is a little risky.
Yeah.
No one is stupid enough to mess with them. They stay in their city, leaving only as duty calls. And Bella's like, you said duty.
It's not that kind of duty!
And apparently the Volturi have assigned themselves as policemen of the vampire world as well.
Oh my gosh.
They make up the rules and they enforce the rules.
Gross.
I wonder what that's like.
Man.
Ew. And Bella's like,
there are rules?
hold on. Shouldn't you have told me this before Edward had his teeth in me? Just saying. And Alice is like, it's not that complicated, Bella. Basically, you just have to keep the secret. And Bella's like, oh. I guess I did know that. Alice goes on. It makes sense. Most of us don't need policing, but after a few centuries, sometimes one of us gets bored. Or crazy.
Yes.
And the Volturi step in and kill them.
And so Edward.
Oh, Edward is planning to flout that in their own city.
Our sweet baby drama queen Edward.
Mm-hmm. The city that they've held secretly for 3,000 years. So they've been alive for sure 3,000 years because they only got their setup going 3,000 years ago.
I know. How long did it take them to chill out long enough to actually do that?
Like, where should we settle down? We gotta build it secretly so or maybe they just killed all the humans in the city for a minute while they built their fortress.
Absolutely.
Those guys. They're so protective of their city that they don't allow hunting within its walls. Volterra is probably the safest city in the world, from vampire attacks, at the very least. Bella coming in with the important questions. But you said they didn't leave. How do they eat? Oh, they just Postmates it.
The thought of them just sitting there and having their people go out and find humans from wherever and bring oh, disgusting.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Field trips of people come in for eating. So they're not about killing every human. They're just about bringing in the humans they need. And so they don't start wars and stuff. They just kind of do their thing until someone steps out of line, such as Edward. And Bella's getting real good at saying Edward's name right now.
Yeah, she goes, I finished her sentence. It was amazingly easy to say his name now. I wasn't sure what the difference was. Maybe I wasn't really planning on living much longer without seeing him, or at all, if we were too late. It was comforting to know that I would have an easy out. Good grief!
Bella.
Good freaking grief, Bella.
Bella.
Jeez.
Way to bring it down. Alice says, I doubt they've ever had a situation quite like this. You don't get a lot of suicidal vampires.
She is so irritated with Edward right now.
Uh-huh.
If they don't kill him, she's going to.
Yes. At this point, Bella is very nervous, and so Alice does a quick hug and says, we'll do what we can, Bella. It's not over yet. And Bella goes, not yet. And the Volturi will get us if we mess up. To which Alice becomes a stiffen. You say that like it's a good thing. Bella, shrug. Knock it off, Bella, or we're turning around in New York and going back to Forks.
Honestly, I'm trying to iron out the wrinkles between my eyebrows because I'm so irritated with Bella right now. Mm-hmm. Stop it, Bella.
And Bella's just, what? You know what? If we're too late for Edward, I'm going to do my damnedest to get you back to Charlie, and I don't want any trouble from you. Do you understand that?
Sure, Alice. Don't worry, Bella knows where all the cliffs are.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
And then Alice gives her a glare. And this is like in Harry Potter when Dumbledore takes Harry to the cave and he's like, you have to do exactly what I say, exactly when I say it with no questions.
It is.
And Bella's like, okay, I will.
Oh my gosh.
Then Alice has a little trance session trying to figure out what Edward's doing. And Bella just watches her sit completely motionless forever.
Oh my gosh.
Bella now has to occupy her own time, and so she tries to think about something that's nice to think about.
Can't.
And yeah, no, she just goes, okay, so if we're very, 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 very lucky, then we'll be able to save Edward. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he will love me again.
Oh no.
I'm not any more different or any more special than I was in September. And so I didn't get my hair cut. I didn't get bangs.
The back of this couch is way too low. But I just have to lay my head down.
I don't even have a manicure right now.
Oh no, that's
He's not going to want me. I'm the same.
I didn't get any better or more beautiful or more desirable.
I'm just more anxious and more sad. And so, of course, he won't want to stay with me.
Oh my gosh. Guys. How many do we... I feel like we've had conversations about this before, so we probably don't need to again. But she don't need to be changing herself for no man. I mean, she didn't.
Nope.
And she wasn't going to because she never thought he would come back. But she's just like, well, I'm going to go save him anyway because there's no way he'll like me. I'm still... Oh, everything about this is such a mind trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was a price I had to pay to save his life. I would pay it. After an eternity on the plane, it began to descend to New York City, and Alice is not snapping out of her future check.
How long is that flight?
From here,
from Washington to New York.
I would guess
like
7 hours. It's about 6 from here.
Yeah, jeez.
So 7 hours to New York. And Alice is not moving, and so Bella's like, hey, Alice, the lights are on and the seatbelt sign, we're decreasing in altitude, Alice, we've touched down. Hey Alice, everybody's standing up now, and they're getting their bags from Alice.
She's so scared.
Yes. And her eyes came open very slowly.
How do you do that? That's not the only time that they talk about eyes opening slowly.
Ugh.
In this book. And each time I'm like, ugh. How do you...
I'll try.
I can't do it. I tried.
Something like this.
That's what I thought.
Uh-huh. She asks if there's anything new, and she goes, not exactly, but he's getting closer to deciding on how he's gonna ask them to kill him. They had to run for their connection to their next flight.
Do you think they did a piggyback run?
A backpack. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And people are like, what in the heck just flew past us?
Look at that tiny girl on that even tinier girl's back. What is happening?
Was that 2 people? Did she just have like a dummy with her? I'm confused. Was it like one of those inflatable things where that actually was just one person and it made it look like someone was carrying?
It was a Halloween costume with somebody on your back.
I want to make that costume.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I don't know how to make it inflate, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Bella is very mindful now. They get on the next plane. Alice goes back into her trance, and Bella's like, don't think about anything. She, instead of thinking about Edward, she thinks about what she'll do with Charlie when she gets home, and Jacob.
Oh no. Yes, all these people you left behind to be terrified for you.
Yep.
Mm.
Would I end up home alone in Forks with no one at all? Maybe I didn't want to survive no matter what happened.
Oh my gosh.
Bella, go to therapy.
Oh my gosh. Poor sweetie.
Oh, Bella. Luckily, Bella fell asleep this time. Because she gets a little shaky shake from Alice, giving her a little update.
Oh man, I'm so glad she fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I could not have handled another thinking across the ocean.
Did Alice drug her?
Oh, maybe. If she's a real good friend, she did.
Drink this water, Bella. And good night.
I mean, but honestly, like, so in the past 2 days, Bella jumped off a cliff, almost drowned, got a little bit of sleep, finally ate she's eaten one meal,
one
and drank
casserole,
1 glass of water.
1/2 gallon of water.
And so she needs some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Alice wakes her up because she can see what they're going to say, which means time is running out very quickly. She goes, they're interested in him. They think his talent could be useful. They're going to offer him a place with them.
Oh, that's cool. He should take it. That's so metal. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
She asks, what will he say? And Alice says, I can't see that yet, but I'll bet it's colorful.
He's going to pull out his best.
I'm not going to stay here.
His best wizard swear. I can't wait.
Not in front of the ladies. Aro, can I talk to you privately? This is good news, though. The first break, they truly don't want to destroy him. Wasteful. That's the word Aro will use.
Honestly, look at him. Look at him
Beautiful.
alone.
He kind of looks like Carlisle. I know they're not, like, related by blood, but if Edward's as close as I'm gonna have to Carlisle, I'll take him.
Oh, man.
That means Carlisle will come visit more often.
This is the truest stream of thought from Naro that I've ever heard.
And Edward can hear him, and he's just like,
wait a minute.
hold on.
Okay.
I see. Does Carlisle know? I'll talk to him later. It's fine. Bella asks Alice how can she see all of this so clearly when sometimes you don't see things so clearly. Alice is like, what are you really asking me? Well, remember that time
Yep.
when you saw me becoming a vampire? How come that didn't happen? Just saying. Well, it was a possibility at the time. And
if Bella could break that window and jump out of the plane right now, she would.
She would, but she should stick around because actually, Bella, honestly, I think it's gotten all a little beyond ridiculous. I'm debating whether to just change you myself.
So, Alice still sees it clear as day. Clear as day. And Bella's gonna become a vampire and live with them forever.
Yeah. As soon as Alice decides, like, well, I guess I could do it, it's like, boop, vision back in place. Oh, that was easier
We don't
than
need
I thought.
Edward.
I'll just take her to Carlisle.
Honestly.
Bella is so into this plan that she's like, oh, Alice, bite me right now. I can help you.
Oh my gosh, I'd be just LOL forever for the rest of my life because of that one line.
Bella, sweetie, that's not quite how it's gonna go down. Because, well,
the flight attendant
look
looks
around.
Over. What's going on?
See all these people? If I, like, bite you and there's blood everywhere, that's not gonna fly. Also, you're gonna be in pain and, like, transforming for a couple days. We don't have that time right now, so maybe we'll wait just a little smidgy poo before we do that.
You are Alice.
And Bella's like, okay, but you promise you won't change your mind?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, Edward's gonna be freaking mad at me, but he'll be fine, because then you'll be an unbreakable vampire.
What's he gonna do about it?
Whatever.
And then Alice laughs.
But she's also like, Bella, I might also kill you. Just so you know, it's like 50-50.
Bella's like, that's fine.
Those are great odds.
I like him. Yes or no? Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yes. Vampire, no, dead.
Fine.
Equally happy.
That's her life plan.
Vampire or die.
She's graffitied it onto like every wall in Forks.
Yeah. First we have to live through tomorrow. Oh, good point. However, if Alice keeps her promise and she doesn't kill me, then Edward can go and do whatever he wants and I'm just gonna follow him around.
Oh my gosh, no.
Wait a second.
Stop it. You're gonna be a beautiful, strong, smart, invincible monster. You don't need to follow that man around.
No.
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 No. That's my note. No.
No.
No. No.
Emily wrote so many no's. No.
Alice puts Bella back into a sleep.
Go back to sleep. Alice uses the Force so much in this one and the next chapter. She is just such a Jedi.
She really is. So many mind tricks.
It's awesome.
Left and right.
Go back to sleep.
I rested my head against the seat, and the next thing I knew, she was snapping the shade closed against the faint brightening in the eastern sky. You know, if one little thing happens and that plane has to turn an angle, It's gonna be a disco in the cabin.
That's fine. Alice knows what's going to happen.
I guess that's true. She can just strategically go close all the
That's right.
problematic shades. But that's
It'll take her
awkward.
2 seconds. Yeah, she's fast.
Just a little brush of the hair as she goes fast. Oh no. Bella asks for another update. She says they have told him no. And that is great. Well, what's he gonna do? It was chaotic at first.
He thought about the car again.
It's like, I could skydive into the square naked.
Yes. Yes, please. That's so awesome.
I mean, that'd be I always wanted to do that.
Think of it.
There was a bad hour.
Oh.
He decided to go hunting for an hour. A whole hour of him being like, how many people could I kill in an hour before they get me?
And in Edward time, this was like 7 hours. Because you know how Edward is.
Yes. He changed his mind at the last minute. So this was a very solid plan for a while.
And she just sat there. She just sat there thinking about it while Bella slept. Did she sit there with her eyes closed or just staring at Bella?
I mean, she's she's an eyes closed kind of vision girl. Maybe it was one eye open, one eye closed. He probably wouldn't want to disappoint Carlisle, not at the end. She goes, yeah, that's probably it. He does care about what Carlisle thinks a lot. But he also cares about what he thinks. Will there be enough time? Well, I hope so. If he sticks to his latest decision, he's going to keep it simple. He's just going to walk out into the sun.
Edward.
He's going to do a strip tease in an alley and walk right up.
Edward freaking Cullen.
This guy.
Get out there.
It would be enough. No human who saw that would ever forget. As Bella knows very well. I wonder if he'll wear a sleeveless shirt again.
It's the skin of a killer.
I looked at the slight gray glow that shone through the open windows. Will be too late, I whispered.
She's having anaphylactic shock. She's having an allergic reaction to just thinking about them not saving Edward.
True. Her throat closing in panic. Alice is like, no, it's okay. Right now he's leaning toward the melodramatic.
Yes!
He wants the biggest audience possible.
This is the most the most like true description of Edward Cullen in all of the books right now.
Yeah. He'll choose the main plaza under the clock tower where the walls are high, and he'll wait till the sun is exactly overhead.
Edward. I can't. My stomach hurts from laughing at this. Edward is such a nut bar.
So we have until noon. Yes, if we're lucky. Alice, how far is it from Florence to Volterra? Well, that depends on how fast you drive. Bella? Yes. How strongly are you opposed to Grand Theft Auto?
This is so awesome. Do it. And then, line break. A bright yellow Porsche screamed to a stop a few feet in front of where I paced. The word turbo scrawled in silver cursive across its back. Guess what, you guys? What? My brother has that car. I love it. This made me so happy that that's the car she chose.
Yep. Alice just rolls down the window and Bella has to do a somersault through to get in. And then they're off.
Oh my gosh.
Sheesh, Alice.
That's really true. I ran to the door and threw myself in.
Listen, okay, yeah. Hurry, Bella, Alice shouted impatiently through the open passenger window. I ran to the door and threw myself in. I didn't open the door and throw myself in. I ran to the door.
She legitimately somersaulted
in.
The window. Those are really short windows, everybody.
Bella's small, as she's told us many times.
Yep. This is where she starts her parkour, and it keeps up.
Yes, we get much more parkour from Bella here.
Really, really good.
Sheesh, Alice, could you pick a more conspicuous car to steal? They're already halfway to Volterra. Because Alice is a speedy speed.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And Bella, of course, needs her seatbelt. Safety first and last.
You should put on your seatbelt.
You should put on your seatbelt. The important question, she corrected, is whether I could have stolen a faster car. And I don't think so. I got lucky.
Yes.
There's tinted windows, guys. That's all she needed. I'm sure that will be very comforting at the roadblock. Bella, calm down.
If anyone sets up a roadblock, it will be behind us. And then she turns up the music.
And then Bella, she's like, I probably should be watching the beautiful scenery. I've never been to Florence. And I probably never will again.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm just going to instead stare at Alice some more. Do you see anything? Well, there's something going on. There's a festival here. What's the date today?
Oh, no.
As if you don't know. The 19th, maybe? Well, that's ironic. It's St. Marcus Day. Oh, I don't know. I could consult my book that tells me the timeline of the whole book.
And maybe we will later.
Maybe we
I am
will.
a little curious about what month this is. I can't remember.
Does it say? Probably not.
I don't know. Anyway.
Let's think about it. Is it January still? Maybe February?
I don't know.
It's somewhat one of those.
Okay.
Well, what's St. Marcus's Day? Let me tell you.
That guy. Remember the Marcus from the Volturi?
Yeah.
That guy?
Well, turns out that they hold a celebration for a Christian missionary, Father Marcus.
Oops.
Who took all of the vampires out of the city 1,500 years ago.
Oh.
But he never actually left. He's still here. And he's the one who started the whole crosses and garlic thing.
I love it. I love Marcus. I love Marcus so much.
He's the best one.
He's so funny.
So relatable. Just kill me.
He sits back there and rolls his eyes. He made up this whole lore about garlic and crosses. He's so funny.
Yep.
He's my favorite one. I love me some Arlo, but Marcus is the guy.
It's become a celebration of the city and recognition for the police force. Volterra is an amazingly safe city. The police get the credit. Aha. They're not going to be very happy if Edward messes things up for them on St. Marcus's Day, are they? No.
Edward!
Bella gets out her sundial and checks the angle of the sun. It's very high. He's still planning on
Does she
noon,
have
right?
a wrist sundial?
Want to buy a sundial? Yep, he's still waiting for noon. And now Bella needs her plan. And Alice is like, you don't have to do anything. He just has to see you.
Bella, don't make a plan.
Don't do just, he needs to see you.
We've talked about this before.
Got it?
No plans.
Just eyes open, looking in your direction. That's all we need. In fact, if it's windy, put your hair down. Just let him sniff you. That should do it.
And then she's so funny. Try not to trip. We don't have time for a concussion today.
I groaned. That would be just like me. Ruin everything. Destroy the world in a moment of klutziness.
What?
Bella.
Oh my gosh. Destroy the world? The whole world.
Her whole
Bella.
world.
What?
The sun continued to climb in the sky while Alice raced against it. It was too bright, and that had me panicking. Maybe he wouldn't feel the need to wait for noon after all.
Oh, please. If Edward can be spectacular, He will.
Oh, yes.
He's waiting till noon.
Alice points at the castle city atop the closest hill, and Bella is suddenly very nervous because this is like a castle.
Why
castles have like moats and walls, and this is a little scary. This is the vampire castle. Every minute since yesterday morning, it seemed like a week ago, when Alice had spoken his name at the foot of the stairs, there had been only one fear. And yet, now, as I stared at the ancient Sienna walls and towers crowning at the peak of the steep hill, I felt another, more selfish kind of dread thrill through me. Hey, Alice. You know all those times when I was like, yes, it'd be better to die. Death is great. Whatever. I maybe changed my mind just a titch. Just a little bit. I think I want to not go in there.
Bella.
Is it too late for that plane back to Forks?
And then Alice. Volterra.
Dun, dun, dun.
Almost there! We're almost there. We're almost to sweet baby angel Edward.
Oh, Eddie, baby.
I can't wait to have him back. I miss him so much.
Oh, Eddie.
He's so dumb.
He's so dumb. But
the absolute dumbest.
He goes back to just regular Edward dumb the second that Bella chips her other tooth on him.
Literal second.
Uh-huh.
He wastes zero time. He completely transitions back to regular. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. Join us next week. I'm going to tell you all about it.
Yes.
There. Thank you for remembering New Moon with us.
Yes, we love you guys.
And remember,
make sure that there's no one staring at you while you're having important conversations on an airplane.
That's right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. And then a wait.
Hey, listen, I just am a lean.
Good grief,
You don't
kitty.
need to freak the freak.
Short hair, don't care.